Van Kaplan here, executive producer of Pittsburgh CLO. Thank you for joining us on Facebook Live for Close-Ups, Spark the Conversation, where you can meet the artists who make our Spark Festival possible here in Pittsburgh. For 75 years, the Pittsburgh CLO has been bringing people together to celebrate musical theater, and we will again soon. All of us at CLO hope that you and your loved ones are safe and managing these difficult times. We look forward to seeing you again at the theater.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of Pittsburgh CLO Close-Ups. I'm Olivia O'Connor. I'm the manager of Newark Development at Pittsburgh CLO. And it's Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, which means we are live on Facebook and now YouTube for Spark the Conversation. If you watched before, thanks for coming back. We're glad to have you. And if you are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is a 30-minute live stream in which we catch up with alums from our New Musicals initiative. We have a chat, we have show and tell, we have time for questions from those of you watching live, and we wrap up with a fun list of 5. These episodes are also recorded and shared to our Facebook, our YouTube, our website, so you can watch again and share. And please do subscribe as well in all of those places. So today, I am so excited to welcome 2 members of the creative team of our upcoming world premiere, Untitled, writer-composer Matt Schatz and director Reginald L. Douglas. Untitled was scheduled to be running in the CLO Cabaret this month, right now. Obviously, that has changed, and for everyone's health and safety, we've postponed the production. Its new dates are October 29th to November 29th, 2020. You might have caught Untitled earlier in its development here at CLO. It's been around for a couple of years. Back in 2018, in a collaboration with City Theater Company, we did a reading of the show in our inaugural Spark Festival of New Musicals. And we had such a great time that we've had Matt back in Pittsburgh every year since then working on the show. Again, in collaboration with City in January of 2019, we did a reading. And in January of this year, in preparation for production, we did some more readings. The show was also featured in the ASCAP Foundation Musical Theater Workshop in 2019, where it won the prestigious Harold Arlen Musical Theater Award. And in all of these photos, you're seeing some of the amazing folks who have brought this show to life throughout the course of its development. We are so very excited to share a full production of the show with you this fall. We can't wait. And we're really excited to chat with Matt and Reg about its development today. So let's welcome them. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Olivia.
Hi, Reg.
Hello. What's up?
Hello. Good to see your
Reg.
faces.
Beautiful faces.
Welcome. So how are you and where are you both talking to us from today?
I'm in.
You're first.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm in my house in Los Angeles.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm in Washington, D.C. now. Yeah.
Yay! Playing time zones again this week. It brings some excitement to our show. And congratulations are in order for both of you. So Matt welcomed a new human to the world very recently, about 6 weeks ago. Congratulations.
Yes, 6 weeks. Yes, Harriet Schatz.
Welcome, Harriet. And how has it been being in quarantine with an infant?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been interesting and wonderful and challenging and all those things. I think in some ways we were planning on being quarantined in a sense anyway for the first couple weeks or months. So it hasn't been that different, but obviously it's sometimes we forget that the rest of the world is also staying home. But no, it's been great. It's scary if we think about the bigger picture, but wonderful if we think about the smaller picture. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we're so happy to welcome Harriet to the world. And Reg, you are entering your 3-month anniversary at your new gig as Associate Artistic Director of Studio Theater in DC. Congratulations. We miss you in Pittsburgh, but so happy for you.
Pittsburgh too. I miss everyone. I talked with Mark Masterson from City Theater a few weeks ago and talked to a lot of the staff. Some of them almost every day. So I'm really excited to be like virtually back in the Burgh. I miss it. And we're with that.
Yes.
So
and Matt's got his Carnegie Mellon hat on. Pittsburgh represent. Makes me so happy. And how are you settling into DC? This is actually a return to DC for you, right? Because you went to school
here, and some of my best friends live here, and so I do love the city a lot. It's my favorite city. It's been a wild ride. It's been a really eventful first 3 months in the job. And I've also moved into a new apartment like right at the beginning of quarantine, I was moving because I was getting ready to, in theory, be in Pittsburgh directing Untitled. Right. So my move date didn't change, even though we weren't able to start rehearsals in the spring. So that was fun, moving furniture in a lockdown. But
yeah, well, now you have a lot of like time and peace to unpack and make decisions about where to put things.
Writing out the like decorating, so it's like the activity I need to last for a while. So yes. Every day I put up one picture, like open one box, but I love it. So very grateful, excited to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you both for joining us. And let's chat a little bit about Untitled. So like I said in my intro, it started as a collaboration with City and CLO in 2018 for Spark. And Reg, how did Untitled come across your radar at City?
Sure. City's then director of New Play Development, and now Associate Artistic Director, the great Claire Drobot, who was also and remains the staff dramaturg, have been a big fan of Matt's. They were in writers groups together, and she was sharing some of his plays with me and some of the team there. And I read Untitled, an Untitled new play by a pop star.
It's on our website. People can go find out.
At that point, I think Matt had like 2 or 3 raps like interspersed in it. And I was just like, this whole thing I just think is a musical. I think it sings. And then Matt very graciously nodded his head in agreement with that wild idea. And in the way Matt does, he's a very fast rewriter and like can churn out drafts that or come out quite fully formed, it feels. And he was like, here you go, here's a musical idea. And with the support of Spark, we were able to try. And I think everyone from that first read of the like first draft, just everyone around the table, the actors, the staff at both City and CLO, I think everyone just felt like, oh, there's something extremely special here. And we have to see if we can take this all the way. And then fortunately, it feels like we're going to go all the way.
Yeah, we're so excited. And that was such a great first experience with you, Matt. I think we had you in residence in Pittsburgh for, 3 weeks? Because you were working on both Untitled and another show in Spark. So it was a very long getting to know you period.
It was great. I loved it. It was, I think I was like at the, at the Omni for like 25 days or something. It was wonderful. I felt so lucky and to be there all that time, and I loved my little work office, in the CLO offices, our little writer's residency. I'd sit in there and I wouldn't do any work. I would just sit in there and look at the walls. But but I had a badge, so I felt like I was there doing work. It was great. Just to be there, even to work on one show would have been amazing, but to have those 2 very different shows in succession was so fun, and I just felt so lucky. And I love Pittsburgh, and I had I went to grad school there, and I love the city, and I love City Theater as well. But I think that was the first time that I really spent any serious amount of time there, and since I'd been there in grad school. I did back a bit, but then every year since I've been there so much now. It's just like it's
when your play The Burdens was at City too, because you had another world premiere in Pittsburgh recently, so you've been here a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I might be nothing if not for Pittsburgh, and it might be nothing. I might be nothing anyway. But yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the why of this show. I think, like you said, Reg, this show resonated with so many people on all of our staffs. And the other thing that really delighted us was that it also resonated with people outside of the theater world, because it really is a workplace satire. It's a step beyond behind the scenes. It's like behind the scenes. It's about a theater office and the leaders and artistic administrators who make those decisions, which is really special. So Matt, what made you want to write about that aspect of the theater world?
I guess you write what you know in a way, but I was, I first wrote I'm a member of something out here called the Playwrights Union, which is like a group of, playwrights that also maybe write for TV. And they have a thing in February where you write a play in a month. And I wrote The Burdens actually the previous year in that same thing in the month of February. And then I needed something that I could sort of just not research and just sort of hit the ground running on. So I sort of I had this idea for a while about sort of a satire about a a pop superstar who decides they want to write a play, and and sort of the literary staff who have to sort of decide if that's a good idea or not. I think I was, I was, as a playwright, you feel like you're doing something really important, and there's a reason that you decided to become a playwright, and you knew you weren't going to make any money, and you knew you were going to have to sort of make some sacrifices. But what's important to you is that it's your play, and you have your name on the play, and people, know that. So I think a lot of playwrights sort of, what's the word, hackles? Is that the word, hackles are raised when they see like, a season and it's like some TV star wrote a play or some, some actor or, even even a writer from a novelist. You just feel like, that's leave it to us. And then the bigger fear then is that the play will be really good and it'll be better than any play that you could ever write. So that's, I think the sort of fears are twofold. Usually it doesn't happen. Usually the playwrights are still the best of ones at writing plays. But I was just interested in that idea. I was interested in the idea also, as a playwright, you work so closely with dramaturgs and literary managers, and they're sort of a playwright's entree into any theater. Like they're sort of the first people that you meet. They might come see a reading of your show. And I'm just fascinated by them because they read so much, and that's such a hard thing for me to do. And they care so much about theater, and they're often unsung. So I really wanted to write a play about them because I know so many of them. And the unsungness sort of made sense when Reg had turned into a musical, and I thought maybe this person who's unsung can maybe now sing. So, I mean, and obviously it's like it's trying to ask some bigger questions about sort of what stories are worth telling, and who should be able to write what story, and what's worthy of our stages, all that kind of stuff. And also I just wanted to write something that was really funny and really relatable. And like you said, the fear at first, and what I got a lot was, oh, this is really, inside baseball, meaning it was, people outside the theater aren't going to get this. They don't know what a dramaturg is, and they don't give a shit. They don't care. Even more importantly, but I sort of had a feeling from the beginning that it was a really relatable situation, that I've been an assistant at offices, and I've had jobs like that, and it doesn't feel that different. You have a difficult boss, and you really want to make a difference, and you want to put your fingerprint on the work you're doing, and you care about the work. So it seemed like it seemed like a fun idea to me. And I. When we were workshopping it I was so honored to be and happy to be able to sort of spend a week or 2 weeks, whatever it was, workshopping the show at CLO, never thinking in a bazillion years that you guys would ever be interested in it. I think maybe that's sort of the way I should always go into, processes like that, because I just that the work you guys did previously, while great, was sort of not sort of what I thought that I did. But I was thrilled. And after we did that first reading, I was just shocked at both sort of how well it went, and just the response from people, like the response from the audience, and they just that they got it. And I was worried that they wouldn't, and they did. So it was great.
Yay. Well, and it is so relatable. And especially, I mean, God, I'm biased as a dramaturg, but Claire, who Reg mentioned, who's now the Associate Artistic Director at City Theater and continues to be my fellow dramaturg on this project. She's been with the show since the beginning. And I often laugh, commiserate about how scarily accurate the show is. And one of the wonderful things about it and about your writing, Matt, is that you can calibrate this little known person who's typically in the shadows, on the sidelines, and a pop superstar personality, and they live in the same world together. And I know something that you've talked a lot about in rehearsal, Reg, is how we balance that, the big and bold and bright colors of this world, and also how real it is and how intimate so many of these moments are on stage. Yeah. And because we have a director in this conversation, our first director in Spark the Conversation, Reg, thank you. I want to ask you, as a director, how do you approach a new works process? What are your priorities there that are maybe different than another process as director?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think the things that are the same might help me understand what's different. I think the thing that is the same is you have to really be curious about the work and let the love of the work come out of your curiosity, I think. And so I was just really curious about how to help build a satire that was full of heart. Because I think often satires are full of bite without like comfort at the end of it. And I think what Matt does really well, what audiences I think really respond to the piece, is you really care about these characters, even as it's a satire about our celebrity culture and our industry, and about the world we live in, and how like the unsung every man, every woman does get trumped in many ways by the big bad boss. And like I think the satire of that culture is rooted in a lot of love for these characters and their love for their jobs. All of these people really believe in what they want. And like, I found that world really fun to create and play in. And so that curiosity is what drew me to the work, which draws me to, I think, any work, but definitely new plays. It's like, what are we trying to figure out or investigate, and be at the table and help a writer do that? I think the other thing about new work that excites me is it's full of questions and what ifs. I think a lot of fun of working on this play in particular has been trying things that we didn't know if they would work, like from adding songs. I remember calling Matt one of our calls, and it's like, Justin needs a number, or you can say the name, yeah. Justin needs a number, and it's like, but it's not his story. But I was like, but you can't. It's like putting a loaded gun on stage. Like we need to hear him sing, and like Matt tried something out, and now that song remains the 11 o'clock number of sorts. Like the what if opportunities to experiment to help get to the answers to some of those initial questions is like what keeps me excited about new work and about this play in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to move on shortly to our next segment. But before we do, I want to mention, Matt, you have so many irons in the fire right now and other exciting things happening. You are writing for Netflix animation, which is phenomenal, especially since we're all glued to Netflix right now. You have another world premiere coming up this fall at the Geffen, right? It's so exciting.
Yes, I think maybe possibly moved. We'll see, but sure, yes, yes, it's scheduled for October. Yes, yeah.
A Wicked Soul in Cherry Hill.
Yes.
And tonight, I just found out today, you're participating in the 24-hour Plays Viral Musicals project. So those of you watching at home, I think tonight at 5 or 6 Eastern, those begin airing. So we can check out your little mini musical tonight.
It should be fun. Yeah. It's all those things are true. I've been thankfully busy and still working and I'm grateful to do so. And the Netflix show is fun.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. All right, so folks, we are moving on to my favorite segment every week, Show and Tell. And yes, we did get a graphic this week. Thank you, Steph Barletto, for that wonderful graphic. So before I turn things over to Matt and Reg for a little show and tell, I want to mention to those of you watching live on Facebook and YouTube, we'll have time for some questions for Matt and Reg after show and tell. So if you have a question, you can pop it right into the comment section, and we'll be able to pull it on over and answer after show and tell. So I'm going to turn things over, Reg, to you first for show and tell. Okay. What do you want to show us today?
As I mentioned, my apartment is half decorated, but I'm going to show you the view from outside my window, which was Olivia's idea. So this is DuPont Circle, Washington, D.C. A bus might go by. So that's our nation's capital, where people are hopefully working on making things better. And this is cool artwork I'm very excited by. That's Lorraine Hansberry, who's an amazing playwright, Toni Morrison, and James Baldwin. And that's Pipeline from City Theater, and One Night in Miami from City Theater. So it's on its way. It's getting decorated. And I have not built my desk yet. I will build it. Everyone that ever worked in a scene shop is laughing at me. And when I do that, I'll put up posters from the shows. And so I'm excited to hopefully add the poster to Untitled to the desk.
Yay, it looks great. Have you been working from your couch, working from bed in lieu of a desk?
I joked with my friend, the amazing Montez Freeland, Pittsburgher, that I have a three rotating sweatshirts. This is my first time wearing a real shirt in like a month.
Thank you. Thanks for putting on buttons for us. That's so nice of you.
Olivia, I would do anything. Button clothes.
And Matt, we're going to turn things over to you for show and tell. What are you going to show us and tell us today?
I was going to play the harmonica.
Yeah.
Take it. Maybe take some kind of request or something. That might be.
Okay, so we're trying to find joy in our lives in these days, in these uncertain days. Can we hear a little ode to joy?
Beethoven, classical music you want to hear. Is that what you're saying?
We're trying to switch things up. It can't be musical theater all the time.
I hear my baby crying. She hates this. She hates the harmonica.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. That's it.
Matt, that was so good. That's like, harmonicas give you a very full sound. I always forget that.
Yeah.
Do you like Kanye West or
What's that?
Boys or something?
Oh yeah, it was for sure. Kanye, yeah, I could do. We could offline with some Kanye.
Yeah.
Don't want to. It's problematic.
Oh, I think I do hear Harriet. You did Ode to Joy made
yeah, Ode to Joy. Ode to Misery. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, while we wait for some questions from our audience, I want to ask, as we have delayed this production, right? So we were supposed to be up in performances right now. We've got some time. What are you thinking about in the months from now until we go into rehearsal? Has that given you a moment to pause and see anything anew? Are you saying, I'm not going to think about this at all, and then I'm going to come to it fresh in the fall? It's hard when timelines shift in this way. So I'm curious about how you're kind of adapting to that.
Oh, wow. I haven't thought about that. It's interesting. I wonder sometimes it's almost like, if our sort of scope of the way we think about the world will have shifted, and if the targets of the satire will be as sharp and impactful. I suspect they actually will be. I think because especially we're all still working, or most of us, if we're lucky enough to, and you're just working from home, but those dynamics are still there. There's like a larger question about theater and hopefully I have faith that we're all going to come back to the theater and everything's going to be great. But there's questions about that are larger, about not just and because it's a play about theater, it's sort of, maybe there's even a more of a meta question to be answered. But I don't know. I think my first instinct is to say we got the show into a pretty good place. It speaks to maybe more than just this time, and hopefully it does. But satire's maybe it's a moving target. So I think we could think about that, and I'll do whatever Reg tells me to do.
All right, folks, it looks like we have a question from Montez, actually, who's watching us live. Hi, Montez. And he says, Reg, what Beyonce song? Oh, thank you, Montez, for this question.
Wow.
Do you recommend as a good pick-me-up during this time?
Oh, that's such a good question. Well, it depends what kind of mood you're in. That's the first thing. I think you should, I'll offer this. Flawless, because no matter what you wake up, you still woke up like this. So that's a good quarantine anthem. And I think no matter what, like Love on Top remains the jam. I have a lot of solo dance parties in my apartment. So
I'd love to see that.
And Matt, do you have a song recommendation? Beyonce or not Beyonce? We'll leave it open.
I don't think. Song recommendation for this time.
Yeah.
For this difficult time. No.
Ode to Joy.
Oh yeah. No. I was thinking of I posted the other day the Flaming Lips song, Suddenly Everything Has Changed. For some reason I thought about that. There's something about that felt maybe not, it's not a pick me up maybe, but I'm not really a pick me up kind of guy.
It's an acknowledgement of
yes,
our feelings.
Yes. I mean, and just it's any of the good. I'm sure there's some musical theater songs that are good. I don't know. Yeah.
Excuse my cough. So folks, we are going to be wrapping up in just a few short moments. Before we do, I want to end with our last segment, Thank You 5. On Tuesdays, we use Thank You 5 as a way to list things we are grateful for, like, love. And because the two of you both have Pittsburgh connections, Reg, obviously, from your time at City Theater, Matt, from your time at Carnegie Mellon, and as we have discussed, all of your time that we've dragged you back here for development. What are some of your 5 favorite things to do in Pittsburgh?
Tina's,
of course. Tina's. I knew Tina's would be on your list. That's one.
Tina's. Oh, I'm going to cry now. Lot 17 sweet potato fries. It's like all food and drinks.
That counts. I feel that right now.
Oh, what's that park? The nice park by the library. Shenley Park.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 things. The August Wilson Center.
Mm-hmm.
Give them a shout out. And then you go back to Tina's.
Tina's made 2 appearances on the list. Wow. You should have some kind of sponsorship deal with Tina's.
So at City Theater at 1300.
Yeah, that's what
of course.
They welcome you in.
Of course. That's a great list. And thankfully we can still enjoy Shenley Park. I'm so grateful we're able to get outside right now. It's cold today, but I've been walking around a lot of parks lately and enjoying it. And Matt, what are your 5 favorite things to do or eat in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I will say the eat. What's that? Number one sushi.
Number one sushi,
which I ate every day. I think that I was in there last time. Reasonably priced, delicious sushi near the CLO offices. Yes, see a show at the City Theater or the Civic Light Opera, or even the Pittsburgh Public Theater. Even any of those places are great places. And I'm sure there's other ones, but those are the ones that I care about. I lived in Squirrel Hill when I was there, and I like to walk around Squirrel Hill. I like to go. There's a bookstore that wasn't there when I was there, but it's right across the street from where I used to live. What else? I like to, and I often also go to Carnegie Mellon because I get so walk around the Carnegie Mellon campus and see all the smart people there doing smart things. That's 4, right?
That's 4.
And get it, and if you can, if you're lucky, get a meal or drink with Reg Douglas and Olivia O'Connor. If they happen to be there.
But Reg now he has to be here. We'll do it this fall when we're all back in the same place.
Yeah, everything one can do in Pittsburgh is worth doing in Pittsburgh. I love Pittsburgh.
Well, we're so excited to have both of you back here in the fall, and hopefully we'll be able to do that safely and healthfully. In the meantime, I'm wishing you both lots of good health and peace and fun with your little one and fun with your new gig. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. I know you both have a lot on your plate, so we really appreciate you taking the time.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you for doing this. Good luck to you, Olivia.
Love to everyone.
Bye. And thank you all so much for joining us. Remember to tune in next week at 3 p.m. We are going to be chatting with Adam Overett, the writer-composer of the Double Threat Trio. And remember to tune in this Thursday at 5 p.m. for Cocktails and Conversations. Mark is going to be chatting with Beth Level and Chris Latta. Also, if you haven't checked out Google Doc Musical, it is up and running. We have people contributing. Someone wrote a song this morning. It's so exciting. Info is on our website and on our Facebook. If you want to become a book writer lyricist, you can request editing access to the Google Doc. If you want to compose, you can email me directly. And if you just want to watch, please do. And finally, thank you so much to our marketing team who always make the show look great. Steph for all of our beautiful graphics. Becca and Sid for running us live. Hi, Becca. Hi, Sid. Thank you. And thank you all so much for supporting the arts in Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh CLO. We'll see you next week.